The more optimized that your website is for a perfect customer journey, the higher your conversion rates will be. So let's talk about a few different steps that you can take for that. Hello everyone, my name is Paul Carey and I'm an SEO consultant here at Launch Site Boost. In today's video, I want to walk you through some of the steps of a perfect customer journey so that you have higher conversion rates on your website. Now in the example that we're going to use today, I'll talk about an e-commerce website. So let's start off by talking about why this is important in regards to SEO for conversions. Well, if you're doing SEO correctly, the goal from the start should not just be to get more traffic, but it should be to get more qualified traffic, people who will actually use your website the way that you intended. So what you really need to do is put yourself in the customer's shoes for every single step of this journey. So let's say you've already done your keyword research and your page is optimized to a certain extent already. What's the first thing that somebody's going to see when they search the particular product that you have available for them? Before they even see your website, they're going to see your website display in the search results. Now, when I say your website display, I don't mean an actual image or screenshot display of your website. What I mean is your title, your description, and your URL. Now, there is a couple of other things that can show up there as well, which I'll move on to in a moment. Now, some people could consider this the most important part of optimizing and getting more people onto your website and having higher conversions. Why? Well, because at this stage of the customer journey, someone is either going to choose you or one of the other 9 competitors who have appeared. You want to do everything that you can in your power to essentially scream to that person, we're the website that you're looking for, click us. That way you get a higher CTR, which is click-through rate. So let's choose a product as an example to go through here. And we'll just go with something simple, such as a black t-shirt. So if somebody is searching the likes of black t-shirt or buy black t-shirt, whatever they've actually put into the search term, well, if you've optimized your page for that and the keyword you're going after is buy black t-shirt or buy black shirt, whatever it is, well, then that means that you now have the opportunity to include in your title and description why someone should click on you. Now, look, I won't go too deep into it in this video, but usually what we recommend for your title is to have the primary keyword first and a feature and benefit if you can, because you don't have too much space to play with there, then followed by your brand name. Always put your branding at the very end. When it comes to your meta description, we usually start with a question, something very simple, such as, are you looking for a black t-shirt? Now, the psychology of sales would tell us that if someone sees that, they're going to say to themselves, yes, I am looking for a black t-shirt. So they'll be more intrigued not only to see the rest of your meta description, but to actually click on your site. So what you can also then include in your meta description is available in all sizes, perfect fits, we have great reviews, whatever it might be. Again, you've got these features and benefits in there, and then always finish with a call to action. A call to action being something such as see our full range today. That gives someone then the incentive to actually click on your website. And as I mentioned, there is a couple of other things that you can actually add in there to display in the search results. Now, what I'll talk about today is rich snippets. Now, in this case, I'm specifically talking about the markup that you can use for products. Now, this can include the likes of your price, your ratings, how much you're rated out of 1 out of 5 or the product itself, how many ratings you have or how many votes, how many reviews that you have, if the product's in stock or not. There's a lot of things that can actually display there. Now, bear in mind that this is very important for somebody to see this before they've actually clicked on your website, because it's going to tell them straight away that, yep, you've got great reviews, that they know that you can be trusted, that you've got really high amounts of reviews, so several people in their position have actually purchased from you before, and they'll be able to see that you actually have availability in stock. They can see all of this before they've actually clicked onto your website. This just gives, again, further indication that before they've even seen your website, that your website is the correct website that they're looking for, and that the other 9 people who've appeared in search results, they can disregard them. Now, because it's an e-commerce page, you don't want to blast the page with a lot of content. You don't want to be over-optimizing or just keyword stuffing in many cases, but you should have a few things on the page that will still help you to stand out, not only to a search result, but again, to actually tell someone that they're in the right place. So for your heading tags in regards to your H1, this should really more so just be your primary keyword in a couple of short words what the page is about. So if it's a case that what you've optimized for and what you've shown up in the search results is your page that leads to black t-shirts where somebody can buy a black t-shirt, well then your H1 on that page really should just be black t-shirt. Now, what we would usually recommend is that you have some sort of text on the page, such as your description, for example. Now, again, you don't want to go crazy with your description, especially if it's a very simple product like a black t-shirt. You want to have maybe about 300 words or so. Now, what we would normally do is we would break up these 300 words into different paragraphs, usually about 100 words each. However, not only does that give us a bit of room to play with to include important and relevant keywords such as cotton, snug fit, whatever it may be, that's going to be relevant to that particular page and product, but it also allows us to put H2s above all of those paragraphs, and those H2s can also then include some important keywords. Now, not only would they include important keywords, but there's going to be a mixture between sales and keywords in there. Now, as we always say, write for humans first and search engines second. So as an example, one of the H2s that you could use there would be the comfiest black t-shirt that you'll ever wear. Again, you've got the term black t-shirt in there, but you've also got a bit of a sales push there as well of, yeah, this is definitely comfy. You're not going to get better than this. So you have a bit of a mixture there. And as I also mentioned, you can play around with the copy as well. So again, don't go too crazy with putting in too much text here. You don't want to be guilty of over-optimizing, but you can have a few different paragraphs with important, relevant keywords in them, but again, written for a human first. Again, these can go along the lines of a sales thing. It might just be something as simple as the washing instructions, how simple that can be, or whatever it may be at all. So if you've seen any of our previous videos, you might now at this stage also think, can I include some internal links there? Yes, you can harness the power of internal links here. So an example could be that somewhere in that paragraph text, you could say, this black t-shirt pairs perfectly with our blue Levi jeans, as an example. Now, if you have a page all about blue Levi jeans, well then highlight and link the actual term blue Levi jeans to your blue Levi jeans page. That means that if you've earned any backlinks to that page, you're then passing a bit of page authority to your blue Levi jeans as well. But even if it's nothing to do with SEO, this might just help more so from an upsell and conversion point of view. Because again, today what we're talking about is conversions. So it's one thing to actually have a conversion when someone searches black t-shirt, but if you're then also talking about the jeans that perfectly pair together, well, more than likely a few of those people who see that page and see the link to your blue Levi jeans, they're going to click that and they'll add that to their basket as well, meaning that the AOV, average order value, will actually then increase on your website. And another thing that you can do in regards to e-commerce products, and you might see this on a lot of e-commerce stores, is include share buttons. Now, I'm specifically saying this if you haven't already included these. Now, these are extremely powerful because depending on the kind of product that you're actually selling, well, some people may actually share it first to their newsfeed on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it may be, and say something along the lines of, I'm considering purchasing this, what do you think? Now, even if nobody gets back to them and nobody replies, and let's just say that they got one like on that particular page or that particular post that they just put out, well, bear in mind that every time that they get a like or someone comments or does anything on that particular post, they will then get a notification, further pushing your product in their head, reminding them about it. Meaning that they're told again and again and again about the product based on how their friends and family and people in their newsfeed or timeline, whatever you want to call it, have actually reacted to that. So if it is a case of that a few days had gone by and they'd actually forgotten about your black t-shirt, but all of a sudden they got a like on the post that they shared about it on Facebook, they've just been reminded. So they may then go back to your website to actually then buy the product. So again, this will help with your conversion. Now, something that we don't see a lot of e-commerce websites do is actually optimize their CTA button. Now, your CTA button on a product page should really only be something along the lines of buy now, add to cart, something along those sort of lines. Now, when I say it's not optimized, having buy now or add to cart as the text is fine, but a lot of websites will build these buttons that just blend in the background. From a conversion point of view, what you should really do is actually have that particular button as a color that is not like the rest of your website. So if, for example, your website is a theme color of red and black, well then perhaps try a green buy now button or add to cart, whatever that may be. Now, bear in mind, you don't have to pick something and stick to it. You can actually A/B test this, or split test as it's also called, meaning that for a particular period of time, let's say one particular quarter of the year, you could have a green button, see how many conversions that then had. Then for the following quarter, have a blue button, or then maybe even have a red one that does match the page itself. Because in some cases, rare cases, you might actually find that what you didn't think would be the more successful thing could actually be the more successful thing. But bear in mind that you need to have relevant enough times that you're actually doing these, because if, for example, you as an e-commerce store have the most popular time of the year at Q4, which is most popular time for e-commerce stores, if at that stage you've added your red button, which more so kind of blends in, by default you're more than likely going to get more traffic to your website at that case anyway. So try to level the playing field if you are going to be A/B testing or split testing the color of your actual conversion buttons. And lastly, one of the things that SEO can actually help, and to help boost your conversions as well, is that you can actually then prompt someone to join your newsletter. Or if it's an e-commerce website, they may have something such as a first-time buyer 5%, 10% discount, whatever you're comfortable with. But again, this person has found you organically through the search results, has gone to your website, has looked at your product, and even if they haven't bought something, well, now if they've signed up to your newsletter or to get the coupon code for the 10% off for first-time buyers, whatever it is at all, well, that means they're now in your ecosystem. So they may not buy today, but you can then follow up with them if they've opted in for this, for sales in the future, new products that you have, whatever it may be. And even if they're not a customer today, they more than likely will become a customer in the future based on the content that you're going to send them in the newsletter. So there you have it. That was a few different steps that you can take to further optimize your conversion rates on your website, essentially harnessing the power of SEO throughout a lot of these as well and seeing how it relates. So hopefully you got a bit of value from this video. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please do leave them down below in the comment section, as we do our very best to reply to each and every single one of them. But as I mentioned, I'll end the video here. Hopefully you got some value, and hopefully we'll speak again soon. Bye.